All right, here, let me show you how to load the data you recorded using LabVIEW on MATLAB, and then plot those results so that you guys can take a look and understand what happened in the experiments. All right. So first thing is you need to have this LVM file, which is the file that is saved, from LabVIEW. And all you need to do is you need to drag this guy and drop into the workspace. By the way, there are several windows here and there depending on how the MATLAB screen is configured on your machine, but it can be looking like this, or it really is slightly different depending on how you have your machine that used by the previous user. But anyway, all you need to do is you need to find this workspace, okay? And drag this guy and drop to the workspace. And then what happens is this kind of window pops up, all right? And from here, you will want to select the area where it only has the numerical values or your data. Usually LabVIEW creates a header describing when it was measured, by whom, what was the sampling frequency, time, etc., etc. And then it starts to provide these data that is being recorded, okay? And you will want to only select these portions, because if you include any of these, then the data that is imported into MATLAB will include some text, and that is going to be considered as not as a number, and we'll have some errors. So important thing is you select this area. And then as noted in that PDF file I provided, next step is you will need to select this as a numeric matrix, okay? By default, it is table, but if you import it as a table, it's not going to work. So select this numeric matrix, all right? And then hit import. Then you're going to be seeing something small here. And as I close this guy, now in the workspace, you have some a new variable that is imported there. And this variable usually has the same format as your file name, okay? Sample underbar 1 was my file name, and that underbar went away. It's just sample 1 here, all right? So now we would like to plot this guy. Oh, and you can also, if you go to your location in the file location, and from here you can even right click and click this import data instead of dragging and dropping. The same thing will happen. This thing will pop up, and then all you need to do is select the right ones and then change the output type and then import it here. Okay, so you can either drag and drop to the workspace, or you can right click and then import data from here. Okay, so now we have that in the workspace. So all we need to do is just plot this guy. So first, let's see how this file looks like, this variable. So down here, you can see the variable has 2 columns. One is the time, and the other one is corresponding values, all right? So all we need to do is we need to define, we want to plot time versus the data you have. So sample 1, everything in the first column, that's what this one here means. So everything, comma, first column of this variable sample 1. And that is what that is going to be assigned as t, which is our time. And whatever value, let's call it, and then copy and paste. Everything, this column means everything, comma, in the second column, okay? So everything in the second column, which is going to be this guy, that's going to be whatever data or value you want to plot, right? So it's that simple. And then have a figure. What this line does is it opens a blank figure. Then on top of that blank figure, you're going to plot time versus the value. Okay, so let's copy and paste line by line and see what happens for all these. So do this. Now you see that there's a variable t created in our workspace. Workspace is like your tabletop. You just put the ingredients on the table. And as I double click this guy, I can see what that variable is. It is a 9,000 by 1, a very long column vector. Okay, and now let's copy and paste this guy, your value. Okay, and of course it's going to be same as the second column. This guy is same as the val, because the second column of this sample 1 was just assigned as a val. Okay, then next thing is this figure. What it does is it opens up a blank figure like this. And on top of that, we are plotting something like that. By the way, this is not a data that you guys may have. This is actually what you're going to measure in lab 8, I believe. It's a vibration of a cannular beam. So yeah, this way you can plot something, all right? And in this lab, you measured like 2 data, like sine and square or sine and triangle wave. I don't remember exactly, but you should have 2 different waveforms, okay? And you want to plot those on top of each other, all right? And the command you will want to use is hold on. Okay, so this part, I'll just leave it up to you to just take a look on Google how to use this thing. So basically, all you need to do is load your first data set and then open a blank figure, plot it, and then you want to hold that guy. And then you want to plot the second data you have imported on top of each other. Okay, so I'll leave this part up to you. And about this figure, when you work with Excel, you don't have this ability to zoom in and out, but MATLAB, this MATLAB is a slightly old version, so it may be slightly different from what you're going to see in the computers in our labs. However, in my case, I have this zoom in and out icons here. So click that guy and zoom in. That way you can zoom in to see what's going on here and there, okay? But in your case, you're going to have something over here, all right? It's just the same. It's going to be pretty straightforward. And also, so let me zoom in like that. And if you double click any place, it's just going to go back to its original zoom ratio. And then if you use this one, data cursor, which also appears here in the newer versions, then you can click on the points of your interest, and that will show the corresponding value. For example, this point, the X value is 2.5, which is around here, right? And Y value is minus 3.34, which is around here, isn't it? So it shows you the corresponding value. And in case you want to have multiple of these cursors showing up, for example, here, I want to take a look at the peak, and I'm interested in looking at the peak here as well. So, and in case you just want to keep adding more data tips, then what you can do is you can press the Alt key from your keyboard and then click something else. Then things will be just added. If you don't click, press down that Alt key, if you click somewhere else, the last data tip that just moves along, okay? So by pressing this Alt, you can create more data tips here and there, and then it's easier to read the values, all right? Okay, and of course we can zoom out, and by pressing this thing, you can move around here and there. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think I even need to explain this thing. And yeah, this is the, so this is how you basically load your data, this one, into your workspace, and also plot those data using MATLAB. All right. Oh, and by the way, the last thing is you can also open this guy on Excel. For example, let me blank Excel sheet like that. And all you need to do is just drag and drop over here. Then a new window will pop up like that, showing all the information. And here's the actual data, right? And you select the whole thing. What I just did was I select a little bit of that and press Control and Shift together and hit the down cursor, down button. Okay. Then you can select everything at once. And you can also insert any figure like that. But like I said, the downside of Excel is because Excel is not for engineering, you cannot zoom in or out. You can't see anything here. Okay, so I do not recommend using Excel for these works. Please use MATLAB to analyze your data. All right. Okay, that's it.